Hello, I'm Sarah, and before we dive into the story of Genesis chapter 16, let me give you a brief introduction. In this chapter, we see a significant turning point in the life of Abram and Sarai. Sarai, who is still barren, becomes desperate for a solution and offers her maidservant Hagar to Abram in hopes of having a child through her. This act, though born out of frustration and a lack of faith in God's promise, leads to conflict between Sarai and Hagar. When Hagar conceives, she looks down upon Sarai, which results in further strife. Hagar eventually flees, but an angel of the Lord finds her in the wilderness and reassures her that her son Ishmael will become the father of a great nation. This chapter highlights themes of human impatience and God's faithfulness, even when his people make difficult choices. Now let's journey into the details of this profound chapter and see how these events unfold. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, had borne him no children, but she had an Egyptian maidservant named Hagar. Sarai said to Abram, "The Lord has kept me from having children. Go, please, and sleep with my maidservant. Perhaps I can build a family through her." Abram listened to Sarai's suggestion. So after Abram had been living in Canaan for 10 years, Sarai, his wife, took her Egyptian maid, Hagar, and gave her to her husband Abram as his wife. He slept with Hagar, and she conceived. When she knew she was pregnant, she began to despise her mistress. Then Sarai said to Abram, "You are responsible for the wrong I am suffering. I put my maidservant into your arms, and now that she knows she is pregnant, she despises me. May the Lord judge between you and me." Abram replied, "Your servant is in your hands. Do with her whatever you think is best." Then Sarai mistreated Hagar, and Hagar fled from her. The angel of the Lord found Hagar near a spring in the desert. It was the spring beside the road to Shur. He said, "Hagar, servant of Sarai, where have you come from, and where are you going?" "I am running away from my mistress Sarai," she answered. Then the angel of the Lord told her, "Go back to your mistress and submit to her." The angel added, "I will increase your descendants so much that they will be too numerous to count." The angel of the Lord also said to her, "You are now pregnant, and you will give birth to a son. You shall name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard of your misery. He will be a wild man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand will be against him, and he will live in hostility toward all his brothers." She gave this name to the Lord who spoke to her, "You are the God who sees me." For she said, "I have now seen the one who sees me." That is why the well was called Bir Lahai Roi. It is still there, between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram named the son she bore Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore him Ishmael.